Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that ever across the country and sometimes the world. Are talking about our top story for you today. The UAE has ranked the world's second safest country in 2025.
And RTA expands bus on-demand services.
We're talking about a brand new addition to the Off Limits Music Festival. We'll tell you about it in a little bit.
And this couple took their gender reveal to new heights and depths.
And we're super excited because at about 8:50, do stay tuned, we're going to be welcoming award-winning artist Gemma Gallagher. We're going to be talking inspiration, challenges and the art of making it big.
And in today's rapid weather report, it's mostly sunny with temperatures ranging from 20 to 26. It was a bit cold yesterday.
It was freezing.
It was
last
so
night.
windy and cold
Wear a
last
jacket.
night.
Summer is not here yet.
I'm so happy, but some people say this is a sign of Laylatul Qadr. So make sure to pray this tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like wind and cold. So this night of Laylatul Qadr, it's all signs.
What is that?
So in last 10 days of Ramadan, it's the holiest days of Ramadan. So every night after 1 a.m., sorry, we have to pray tahajjud. You can make dua, you pray to God. And one of those nights, we don't know what night it falls on, is Laylatul Qadr. Is where all of your du'as will get accepted. Hopefully, inshallah.
So this was last night.
So it has to fall on an odd night. So an odd number, so 27th, 25th, 23rd. So tonight is the 27th.
How interesting.
Yeah, so wind. Yes, yesterday it rained a bit. They're all signs of Laylatul Qadr. So hopefully, inshallah. So make sure to pray tonight.
Okay.
But I was saying something before the show.
Yeah, you actually were disagreeing because...
I said Gen Zs are rude.
Oh, I
They're a rude
agree.
generation.
I agree.
They're a very rude generation.
This is your generation.
That's my
so
generation.
It's absolutely fine for you to speak on behalf of... I agree.
And yeah, they are. No mannerism and I don't know, they're too entitled.
No, I don't think they're all rude.
Not all of
a different outlook on priorities in life, and then
True.
therefore speak in a different way.
They speak and they're too entitled. This is what pisses me off most of the time. I think Gen Zs are so entitled. Like they feel like the world owes them everything.
But do you think it's that, just to play devil's advocate, do you think it's that they're too entitled, or they have a higher standard?
Definitely we have higher standards, and I think I have higher standards, but I still feel like for some reason everyone, if you open TikTok, Instagram, and any of those social media, you'll notice that everyone has this victim mentality. Yes. Why me?
Yeah.
Why me?
Always complaining.
If someone posts something, let's say, okay, because we're talking about gender reviews and whatever, let's say someone announces their pregnancy. You'll find someone in the comment that's saying, oh, that's so rude, I can't get pregnant.
There is a lot of complaining. I wouldn't put all of the complaining on social media down to Gen Zs. I feel like that's just a universal thing. But one other thing that you said was Gen Zs, they complain too much, but also you said that they're funny.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're funnier than millennials. We have better humor. We have better humor than millennials. That's for sure, honestly.
I absolutely disagree. You're the snowflake generation. I cannot crack a joke for fear of how it will be perceived and in case I hurt someone's feelings.
No, I think... Listen, okay, we are a bit too sensitive.
You can't crack a joke that's like personal to someone. Like, God forbid... Like, God forbid, I said, that's an interesting green shirt, Massa. Like, are you representing Ireland in football? I don't know, like something,
Why would you say that? This colour is my personal.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, God forbid you crack a joke at someone's personal expense. Like, never would I do that because I understand that it's a different generation.
Yeah, true. But among my friends, we always have that joke. Like, we always make political jokes about each other's countries.
No, yeah, fine. Okay, fine.
That's very common.
But what about
she calls
personal?
me a refugee. I call her, See?
I thought you were woke. I thought you were...
It's just a joke.
Fair enough. Maybe I'm the snowflake. Let's jump into the top stories of the day. Brought to you by a millennial and a Gen Z. Our first story of the day, the UAE ranked as the world's second safest country in 2025. Here's some feel-good news to start your day. Our beautiful country has once again proven to be one of the safest places on the planet.
So a recent survey by Numbu, the world's largest living database, ranked the UAE as the second safest country in the world. And we're talking just a fraction behind the tiny European nation of Andorra.
So it goes Andorra and then UAE. Now, to put that into perspective, Andorra has a population of just 80,000 people. That's smaller than some of the neighborhoods in Dubai, basically. Yet their safety index score is 84.7, and we're barely ahead of them with UAE's impressive 84.5.
Nambu's rankings are based on survey responses collected over the past 3 years, measuring crime perception, nighttime safety, and concerns like violent crime, bullying, and discrimination. The higher the score, the safer the country.
And interestingly, the UAE isn't the only GCC country shining in this report. Qatar landed in 3rd place, Oman in 5th, and rounding out the top 5 is Taiwan. Other familiar names in the top 10 include Hong Kong, Singapore, and Japan. So we're in great company. We say it every day. I've got a post here from Falafel Tour. This is like the genuine proof that you see on the streets.
True.
This is in a mall, I think in Barsha, and it's like after closing time, all of the products
Are
sitting
on display, yeah.
on display. No one's robbing them on the way home.
Yeah, by the way, I always walk past them without thinking that, by the way. Until you just brought it to my attention. I walk past and I don't even think about it. But in other countries, you notice that they always cover it up. Or
Like,
they lock it or something.
I would love to do a social experiment. Like, people always come to show how safe Dubai is.
Yeah.
And they do the social experiments. They put a video up and they say, I'm going to leave my phone here. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to eat McDonald's. I'll come back, whatever
Yeah.
you eat. Let's do that in another country.
Another country.
To
No,
see
you
what
can't do
happens. So cities-wise, Dubai ranked as the second safest city in the world. Abu Dhabi is the safest.
Yay. And Qatar, by the way, I think a lot of people noticed how safe it was after the World Cup. So it brought people's attention to Qatar. People felt so safe in Qatar and people were so happy. Like, oh, I miss the World Cup days. It was really nice.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
It was so much fun. Singapore is one of my must-visit lists.
Yeah, and Singapore, Hong Kong, great cities. I just feel like we're broken records because we
Yeah.
constantly talk about how lucky and safe we are and how safe it is to walk the streets at night, how safe it is to live alone as a woman, for example. But this is the proof in the pudding that we are, in fact, the safest city
have a
in the
survey
world
to
and the
prove
second
it.
safest country.
We're
After
not-
Andorra, which is teeny tiny.
We have proof. Moving on, so RTA expands bus-on-demand services. Dubai's RTA is making city travel even easier with expansion of its bus-on-demand service to 10 key locations, including Oud Meitha and Barsha Heights. And for just 5 dirhams, passengers can hop on a 13-seater bus in areas like Al Barsha, Dubai Silicon Oasis, Al Nahda, Business Bay, and downtown Dubai.
The purpose of these buses is to reduce congestion and offer a sustainable transport solution. The service allows riders to book, track and pay seamlessly via the Bus On Demand app.
And operating daily from 5 a.m. to midnight, it provides a flexible and affordable alternative for short-distance trips, ensuring commuters and residents can move around busy areas with ease.
Time to hop on the bus if it's in your location.
Yeah, there are multiple locations, yeah.
Are you a bus taker? Do you enjoy the bus?
Listen, I don't enjoy the bus.
Why not?
I don't enjoy the bus, but sometimes it's nice to take the bus or the metro for one reason only, when you're not in the mood.
As said, Massa's a Gen Z, so she doesn't enjoy the bus. That's probably true. She's waiting for a
I am
lift.
entitled to drive my own car. No, I'm joking. But sometimes it feels good to just not drive in the morning. And to have to not deal with the traffic.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to be on autopilot and not think and just wear your headphones and zone out.
But that's the thing. I'm a big fan of public transport if you live near it, so it's
Yeah.
like easily accessible. The only thing is sometimes you just want your personal space.
Yeah.
And sometimes like people might start having a conversation with you if you're on the bus.
Yes,
Start chatting.
exactly.
I don't know what it is about. People just want to chat, and I just want.
People just want to socialize.
I just want to look at my phone.
I want.
It's like zone out time. Listen to a
Yeah.
podcast, watch a show.
Overthink.
Yeah, I want to overthink. Allow me to have my moment
All
to
the
overthink.
time.
I don't know.
Just let me analyze the situation by looking out the window.
Yeah.
And watch.
Pretend I'm in my own music video.
Yeah.
What is that? I feel like I've done that since I was a teenager. Like I'm in a music video, but it's
Oh
not.
God! Every time I travel to Europe or any country abroad, like when we take the train, I have to take the window seat so I can just zone out and live my Bridgerton dream of zoning out. And why did this situation happen? Did I do something? I could have fixed it better. I
So
should
much
have acted
self-reflection.
that way. Lots of self-reflection because there's nature around you,
That sounds very ASMR.
right?
Yeah.
Like you're looking out to nature, like trees and greenery. It's like, oh,
It's such a romantic view of what Europe is, by the way. And it's like the same vice versa. When people come here, they want to go to the top of Burj Khalifa, take their pics. Anyway, you might also want to come here because there is an absolutely epic music festival on the way.
So Ben & Ben brings heart and soul to Off Limits Music Festival. So Ben & Ben is coming to the Off Limits Music Festival and it's about to get emotional in the best way possible. The Philippines' favorite indie folk pop band is joining a powerhouse lineup at the Middle East's biggest open format music festival, bringing their heartfelt lyrics and signature sound to Yas Island.
So Ben & Ben fans, get yourselves ready. If you've ever felt the magic of Leaves, Katang Isip and Pangtingin, you know exactly why this is a big deal. People love their music. It hits deep. Their live performances are just pure energy and their vibe is all about love, hope and positivity.
And with global stars like Ed Sheeran, One Republic, Kaiser Chiefs already on the bill, Ben & Ben's addition to the perfect blend of indie, pop and soul. So save the date, April 26th is set to be something super special. So get your tickets now at platinumlist.net or offlimitsfestival.com.
If this is the first time you're seeing this logo, get ready. This is about to become the annual music festival of the year. We don't have something at this level, at this scale. Ed Sheeran is headlining the festival. And Kaiser Chiefs. I'm so excited for Kaiser Chiefs. So get your tickets now. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal day. So many acts from start to finish. And we have only listed a few of them. So check out offlimitsfestival.com to get more information on that and to get your tickets. Jumping into our next story. This couple took their gender reveal to new heights and depths. Okay, let's talk about next level gender reveals. We've seen balloons, we've seen confetti cannons, maybe even the odd cake cutting moment, but this couple have taken things to new heights and depths.
So they announced the gender of their baby in the most jaw-dropping and way mid skydive and underwater. So skydiving and underwater. So you've heard that right. They jumped out of a plane and as they free fall through the sky, a burst of colored smoke trailed behind them. But they water drive where they revealed the baby's gender in a breathtaking deep sea moment.
Okay, so here's what we want to hear from you. Has this gone too far? Of making something go viral is making these stunts a little too extreme. Do you think it's epic or over the top? Or would you rather not even know the sex of your baby?
I think this is too far.
Do you think it's too far?
Yeah, I think it's too far.
Oh, let people do what they want to do.
Wait, so they had two gender reviews, like skydiving and underwater?
Yeah, why not?
It's a boy.
I just think like it's such a magical
I love parties, honestly.
Yeah.
I love parties. Let's just have a gender reveal party, like an excuse to throw a party.
I hope Dale, my husband, is listening because he said he doesn't want to know. He doesn't want to know the sex in advance. And like, I really want to know.
You have to know.
I really want to know. And I feel like this is the first time we've ever had like quite a difference in views. But it's quite an important thing. It's 100%. Like, because it regardless of how you find out, obviously you just hope for a healthy baby. But like, it's the sex of your baby. So it's like, you want to have either that magical moment when the baby's just been delivered. Or for me, I'm like, I want to know so I can
Prepare.
I want to nest. I want to set out the room.
Exactly. The clothes.
Blue
or pink.
Or whatever.
Whatever.
Boy or girl. I just want to know. Like, I just feel like the day itself is so fraught with emotion that like, as long as we both get through it in an okay piece, that's what matters. Nothing else matters. Sex does not matter to me.
But it's just, you need to know because after you give birth, you're not going to have time for yourself. You're not going to have time to go shopping. So it's better to have everything right in front of you.
So you think you want to know?
100% I would want
in the back there?
I want to know if I'm going to
Gemma, our guest for the show, would you want to know? You'd want to, thank you. You'd want to know.
You have to know. You have to know. You have to prepare.
Bunny? Is it Bunny there? You want to know the sex of your baby in advance?
You have to think of baby names.
He's not married.
You have to think of baby names. Am I getting bows? Am I getting bandanas? Am I getting cute little
It's the names as well.
Yeah,
like I'm not choosing the name the day the baby's born.
Yeah, and what do you mean? I have to think it through.
And I'm absolutely indecisive. It'll take me about 5 years to think of a name. I guess leave people to what they want to do. I love when people go a bit extra because it's just great for stories. It's great for
True.
for news.
I think any excuse to throw a party, why not? I love a good party.
8:50, we'd love your thoughts on that one. It's time to welcome our next guest, award-winning artist Gemma Gallagher. We're going to talk inspiration, defining moments and the art of making it big. She'll be with us after this very short break. Do stay tuned. Hey guys, and very welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Gemma Gallagher, an award-winning visual artist bringing contemporary creativity from Ireland to Dubai. Her art has been sold in London, Dublin and New York. And in 2024, she was recognised as the Artist of the Year by The Independent. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for coming. Excited to have you.
So how did you discover your passion for art?
You know what? It was from when I was a really young child. I used to sit at home, draw, play around with like colours and stuff, and I always just really loved art. And I think from a young age I kind of knew deep down it was going to be my career in some shape or form. Then I went through the education system and my teachers really wanted me to go into law, but thankfully I had very supportive parents and they were like, you know what, you would be a terrible lawyer if you want to do art, go and do it properly. And I was like, right. So I moved to London when I was 19 to go to art college there. And then that's been my journey ever since. I started selling paintings professionally since I was about 18, 19 with galleries. And yeah, worked kind of between Dublin and London. And then I moved here 10 years ago and took advantage of all the opportunities that we have here.
Love that, supportive parents.
Yeah, lucky.
We throw around words like contemporary, but for people who haven't seen your art, can you describe your art to the masses?
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who doesn't really know the art terms, modern art is anything in the last century, but contemporary art is art that is being made now by artists that are alive today and making art in the here and now. My art, I typically work with oil paintings. I've experimented a little bit over the years, but I think as an artist, and most artists will relate to this, your art changes as you change. So you take inspiration from like what's going on in the world, what's going on in your life. So it has progressed a lot over the years. But for me, yeah, it's just, I mean, you can see in the background some of it. In the last few years, I'd say since COVID, it's taken a very colourful and decorative form. And for me, the reason I went that direction was because it was a tough time during COVID.
Yeah.
And the work that I used to make was, I guess, a little bit more deep because it was more social political work. And at that time, I just needed a form of escapism. So creating art became my therapy. It became my form of escapism, and it started becoming a lot more colourful and decorative in that way. But now I can kind of feel myself going towards the other direction. So it changes as you change.
Right.
So would you say your art is a reflection of your personal feelings, basically?
For sure. Yeah, like even in some of the work that you'll see on my Instagram, like it looks very colourful and it looks, you know, nice to look at, but it's actually all symbolic of the emotions that you're going through at the time. And there's sort of conceptual symbolism in like what the animal represents, what the person represents, what the figure represents within the artwork. And when you see the titles and you talk to the artist, you'll always kind of delve a bit deeper into the concept behind the work.
Can we ask about one though? The one behind us, the tiger and the...
Yeah, so this is kind of marking the transition between the work that I made sort of during and post-COVID and the work that I used to make. This piece, it's unfinished in this photo, but it's finished now. It's called Conflict of Interest, and it's actually a very personal piece because it's about my kind of, I guess, my personal inner conflict between the very safe and beautiful life that we have here in Dubai, and then looking at what's going on in the rest of the world. Like if we look to Palestine, if we look to other countries that are experiencing genocide and civil conflict, it's like that inner conflict between you want to do something and you feel really strongly about what's going on in the world, but then also you want this safe life for yourself, and it's like, how do you manage that internal conflict? So the woman, it's not exactly a self-portrait, but there's like a woman that's kind of like a bit lost, and then there's a woman who's kind of turned away, but she's looking, and there's like conflict and tension between them. And tigers and leopards represent escapism, so that's kind of like that kind of trying to escape from the world in that piece as well.
Oh wow, I love this. Is it complete now? Like we can find it somewhere?
It's, yeah, it will be posted on my Instagram this week.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
On my website as well.
How do you know when something's truly complete? Do you have a bit of a perfectionism there, or are you kind of black and white?
It's so hard. Sometimes you want to keep working on a piece and you keep working on it, and then you're like, I should have stopped last week. Sometimes I feel like you know it. Sometimes it's kind of hard actually. Sometimes you do a piece and you're like, right, that's it, it's finished, and you just feel that the piece has resolved itself and you're happy with it. And then other times, like I look at it and I'm like, I actually kind of prefer how it was when it was kind of a work in progress and a little bit more of an organic, like unfinished, like unperfect feel to it. But yeah, that's the struggle of being an artist.
Absolutely, I think so.
Definitely, as an artist, I'm sure you've went through a creative block, right?
Yeah.
How do you deal with it? How do you come out of it?
It's tricky, but I think that you have to accept that when you're an artist, and that can be a visual artist, a writer, a musician, you're going to make some bad art or some bad pieces before you can really crack something that you're like really happy with, where you're like, right, this is me really doing what I do best. So I have to just remind myself, even if I have a creative block, and it happens all the time, even though I've been painting for so long, you have to just sit and draw, read, listen, sketch, make notes, and just keep pushing through, and just force yourself to get in the studio and just make art. And even if it turns out rubbish, you have to go through that process to get to the good stuff.
What has been the defining moment of your career so far?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Because I've had a lot of good fortune in my career. I mean, when I was 18, I was about to go to art college, and I walked into a gallery with like a little printed portfolio, because I'm a millennial and things are printed. And I actually just walked up to the gallery owner and was like, I have some art for you to sell. And he was like, oh, do you? Like, who's this little girl off the street? Yeah. And then he looked and he was like, yeah, actually, I think I can work with you. I can sell your work. So that's how I started working with galleries from when I was young. Sometimes you just have to be like bullish and not just not care what people
so
think
good.
and just try. And then I guess when I was younger and I got selected to exhibit in New York, I got an exhibition in the Mac Belfast, which is like a big museum. It's kind of hard. Recently, Expo, I did a solo exhibition at Expo 2020.
Amazing.
So that was amazing as well. But yeah, there's been a lot. I feel lucky there's been a lot.
So do you think social media might hurt or support artists?
That's a really good question because I came from, I studied in London, I exhibited in London, Dublin, New York, so I came from very much like the traditional fine art gallery world. And I've seen the art world change a lot over the last like 10, maybe 15 years with the growth of social media. And I think the art world are a little bit pretentious about like social media artists. They want an artist to be a bit more like pure, like I guess like be in the studio, be in the gallery. And now I can sort of see some contemporary galleries kind of switching their mindset and they actually do want the artist to be on social media. I think the old school galleries are like, no, like we don't care about social media artists, they don't take seriously. But I think they have to be progressive in this way. I mean, you want your artists to have their own platform as well and have the freedom to say what they want and share what they want, as well as supporting them through like the gallery world too.
Very interesting. So it feels like art is maybe more slow to take on social media in comparison with most other industries.
I think the art world can be a little bit pretentious sometimes in that way, and they want to stay traditional. And I can understand why that is in some ways, but I think compared to other industries, the individual artists have really taken to social media so well. And I know a lot of artists that have built a career and an income without any representation and solely on social media. Even me as well, like I sell pieces directly through my Instagram. I don't run ads or anything yet, but people will just find it organically and then they'll buy a piece, which is great. So, I mean, I'm all for it. Whatever is going to help artists to continue to be creative and earn a living through that creativity.
Interesting. What brought you to Dubai? Was it art?
It was and it wasn't. So I actually wanted to travel. So I had been selling, marketing, exhibiting, and I was like, I kind of want to get to the sunshine. I'd went to Australia and Asia traveling for like a year and a half, and I went back to Ireland and I wasn't coping well with the rain. So I actually went, I was like, because I had a reputation at home in the UK and Ireland, but I was like, what could help me travel in any country and still be creative? So I actually went back to college, did a postgraduate in art teaching, and I tried my luck at teaching over here for the first time. So an interesting journey. I came firstly to Abu Dhabi, had my first teaching job, and it taught me a lot. It was very interesting. It taught you how to manage a million things at once, how to communicate, how to teach. But when I was teaching, I recognised very quickly that there were a lot of opportunities in this country. So I went back to painting and exhibiting, and then I founded my event company, Design and Dine, which I was able to do through all of my teaching skills. I quit teaching after a couple of years and decided to grow my art studio business and my event company as well.
Amazing.
So you grew up in Ireland and you moved 10 years ago to Dubai.
Yeah.
How would you as an artist compare the art scene here in Dubai to Ireland?
It is very different. There's a lot of like grassroots initiatives in Ireland and a lot of very talented artists. But what I would say is like it's a little bit more limited in terms of like resources, funding and opportunity. Whereas like as we know, the UAE is just if you have an idea, you can do it here. So although the art world here is very new, there's a lot more opportunity. So if anybody's thinking about it, I would definitely consider it.
Crack the seed, start it because it's not really, we don't have a lot of art scene here.
Yeah, it's very new, but that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I actually got appointed as the arts officer for Dubai Irish Society last year, and I created a show at Courtyard Gallery, and it was the first show exclusively of Irish artists, so that had never happened before in this country, which is crazy, but that's how new the industry is. So, the gallery that we worked with were super supportive. We had support from like different funding and everything, so it was great.
While we have you here, can you tell us a little bit about your, let's say, for example, your design business, your Design and Dine, and everything else that you're working on?
Yeah, so Design and Dine I founded back at the start of 2016, And I did it as a hobby, to be honest, because I was in the school teaching at the time. And one of my colleagues had actually said, can you do like an art class for us teachers?
Yeah.
First of all, I was like, no, I'm so busy, like I don't want to. And then she was like, come on, please. We see all the paintings that you're doing for the kids. Like, we would love to learn how to paint.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, do you know what? Let's do it. But I don't want it to be in the classroom or the school. I want everyone to really have fun. Yeah, so I'm going to take you out of the school and we're going to go somewhere and we're going to have like some food and drinks. I'm going to play music and we're going to make it really fun.
Get in the mood.
Yeah, and a friend of mine, an Irish guy as well, he was a hotel manager, so I pitched the idea to him and he was like, that's an amazing idea. And I was like, okay, and I brainstormed and I was like, I'll call it Design and Dine, and it was just like a little social group. The first event had 14 guests and a couple of months later we were at 100 guests every month, selling out through just like word of mouth and like organic marketing. So that was kind of when I realised, you know what, this is so much fun. Like, and what I really love about teaching adults is like everyone has this self-belief that they're not creative or they're not good at art. I don't know where that comes from, but 99% of people that come in to Design and Dine are like, Gemma, I can't draw a stick man, I can't paint. Like, they're just like, let me know that, like, to lower your expectations.
Imagine, yeah.
And I'm like, no, everyone can. It's like our human nature to be creative. It's our human nature to make art. You just need like the right environment and the right guidance. So that's what I try to create with Design and Dine.
So how can people join the next event if they want to?
Yeah, so we're very active on Instagram. It's at designanddine.ae. And we post all our events there. We've actually just partnered with 1964 at McGettigan's Souk Madinat Chimera to do a weekly event. So if anybody wants to come paint this week, we'll be at Souk Madinat 1964 from 3 to 5 p.m. But yeah, we do a lot of corporate events and team building. So any of the companies out in Dubai that want to actually bring their team together to create and connect and have fun, we do a lot of that as well.
Really nice. Do you believe in manifestation? And if so, what's on your vision board?
Yeah, I do, big time. And I feel like I'm a good manifester because I have an idea. And to manifest actually just means to make something happen, to bring it from the vision in your head into reality. So I've done a lot of manifesting, and actually at Design and Dine retreat days, we do retreats a couple of times a year where we do like mindful painting, yoga, meditation, visualization, vision boards and all that. So my vision board has a solo exhibition, a solo art exhibition. So any galleries out there, get in touch because that needs to happen. That needs to happen this year. I have me gigging as a DJ because I've started learning how to DJ. Yes, so that's on my vision board as well. I had a ski trip, but I actually got a ski trip in already, so that came true. But yeah, I think growing my career as a painter, continuing that, because Design and Dine, we've been so successful. We're the leading painting event in the UAE. We're looking to expand to Saudi. We also have a team in Ireland, so that's going really well. And I feel like this real strong pull to get back to my own art practice a little bit more as well. So that's like number one.
Exciting.
So if you could go back to your early career self, what advice would you give?
God, that's a good question. I think I would just be a little bit more forthright about making work without fear. So, you know, just like experimenting, being more bold. I think I did that to an extent, but really to push the boundaries for myself without worrying too much about like what other people think, because I think when you're authentic as an artist, people will appreciate it. So you just keep pushing in the right direction, and probably to travel a little bit more like earlier on.
Great advice to leave it at. If people are watching now and they want to find you and they have some questions, how can they do so?
Yeah, so my own handle is at gem_artist on Instagram. Designanddine.ae is the event company. And my website is gemmagallagherart.com.
Gemma Gallagher, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure.
Thank
you, Casey.
And that brings us to the end of the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you every single weekday morning, same time, same place. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. Bye.